Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. All right, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. Okay. I hope you all are doing well. It was such a beautiful, warm day here. I got to get outside and do yard work. Okay, so first I want to look at this beautiful, one of my favorite cards. A lot of my favorite colors. You have the greens, the browns, the yellows, very earthy. And we have here the Princess of Discs and or Pinnacles or Panicles or whatever you want to call them, coins even. So this is a card that is so much about coming into your emotional security, being grounded, kind of finding your footing in life, you know, securing kind of the skill sets that you are getting into to make money, your career, build a home. Really kind of working on that foundational stuff. Okay, this is also the daughter of the Mother Earth. So this is a very kind of developed, wise already, even in the younger years, but she's going through what we assume is kind of her first pregnancy, and she has created life, and she is growing it, incubating it. And so this is all about that kind of magical ability to manifest consciousness, to be a portal, to birth creativity, to take things from the abstract and bring them into the material world. So one of my favorites, definitely. And let's kind of check out what we have going on here. So, we have kind of this, we have this little scene right here where we have an animal that looks like it's kind of jumping away while this other animal seems to be kind of jumping on its back. So I get the feeling that this is a scene of struggle, of being hunted to some degree, but really just this kind of being locked in a kind of struggle battle to get to a place of, you know, dominance, power, feeling in control. And I think that because we're talking about this, about the discs and this kind of earthy, homey type of energy, I believe that you have been going through maybe a situation where your domestic work is kind of feeling unbalanced. There's an imbalance there. And at times, maybe you feel like you're doing almost everything. You're overwhelmed. You're busy. All of the things that are on your list every single day, it seems to feel like you are being crushed by it at times. I feel that you probably, if you live with somebody else or if you are living by yourself, there's a lack of communication happening. Everything has been put on you, or at least this is your perception, right? And this pertains to the domestic. So the cleaning, the appointments, you know, groceries, preparing food, yard work, whatever it is. All of the things. There's so many things that go into a domestic life, right? Paying bills on time and this kind of thing. And I feel that you are getting to a place where you're just feeling depleted. Feeling like it's been a lot for you, okay? I also think, though, that you're good at all the things that you do, but there can arise a feeling of resentment if that is within people you live with, or towards people you live with. It could be that you live alone and you just are resenting the fact that you are in this situation. You are in charge of and responsible for everything. So that can be really kind of overwhelming, right? And so what do we kind of do when we get into these situations? I don't think this is uncommon, especially when you have a family, if you have children. You know, it can get into these situations where, you know, you're both working out of the house, you and your partner are working out of the house. Or maybe somebody stays home, somebody goes to work, whatever it is, the dynamic. Sometimes there arises this feeling of not everybody is putting in their work. And then when your kids get a little older, right, and they're not doing the things you ask them to do, you know, not cleaning up after themselves, not being responsible for their chores or, you know, whatever, that can be very hard to manage, to navigate. On top of all the other things that you have to take care of, you're also teaching these young human beings how to be part of a family unit, be cooperative, you know, take care of themselves to some degree, and get prepared to go out into the world and you know, be able to do things for their household and themselves and so on. So this can really start to feel like a lot, you know, and it never stops. Even, you know, as we get older, hopefully we start to minimize some of, you know, the extra things. The dream, right, is to kind of downsize so you don't have all these extra rooms to clean and take care of and manage all of the things that we acquire throughout our journeys. And so, you know, I think that this is really, for whatever reason, and I kind of really understand, especially this time of year, I start to feel very claustrophobic from the way my house gets set up for the winter, because we're indoors a lot. Once it starts getting nice, it starts to feel like too much. Everything needs to get put away. The rooms need to be reorganized. The closets need to be, you know, rotated. Things need to go into storage or gotten rid of. And, you know, it can really start to put you on edge. You get anxiety. And, you know, there's a reason that spring cleaning is a thing. We kind of come out of this hibernation and we want to just kind of cleanse our zone. And when you don't have help from people around you, it can really start to be irritating. So And and let me just say, I'm not trying to alienate our friends in the Southern Hemisphere. You are going into winter, so it's kind of the same thing, but backwards. You want to get everything set up so you're comfortable in these colder months, right? And you want to be able to navigate your home and be comfortable and cozy, but it's hard when you're the person that's doing a lot of the stuff and, things are not getting done. So, I can understand that. We all can. I lived alone for a lot of years and it was, it was a lot. It's a lot to, not as much as, having a toddler. I mean, gosh, they have so much they're tornadoes, literally. But, it's hard when it's just you, doing things by yourself all the time. And it's easier to put things off. That was my problem, was I found all kinds of reasons to just put it off till tomorrow. So let's see, what else do we have going on here? I'm seeing a lot of these. Now this one I thought was interesting. On this side, we have, it looks like maybe a deer. It looks like the body, the head, and then we have another one kind of sitting down looking right up there. Now, it kind of looks like an older deer, maybe a parent, and then the little younger one. But really what I am getting from this formation, this coupling of the two, is that there has been somebody in your life who has been a good friend through a lot of these kinds of feelings. I feel like they're there for you. They understand. Maybe they're a little bit older than you. Maybe they, are going through the same kinds of things, or they've been through them. And this is somebody that you can talk to. They're very supportive. They always feel like they're on your side. They don't have any kind of harsh words for you. And they make you feel heard and, validated, and, but also maybe very helpful, with kind of problem solving some of this stuff. So I think that this is a very lucky thing to have somebody who really has kind of a soft touch, but they also have good information. They have a good understanding of, what maybe your life is like to some degree. And it's nice to be able to relate to somebody who has practical wisdom and knowledge for us, right? We need those people in our lives who can help us sometimes look at something from an outside perspective and figure out how to navigate getting this thing sorted out, without all of the emotions involved. And, but while also being there and being, authentically loving, kind of just, like I said, like affirming, validating, and able to listen without any kind of, deep judgment. Okay, so and this one's kind of interesting. I'm seeing it and it looks like we have a person sitting, and then we have a person that almost looks like they're spraying a hose. I almost thought, is this like a flamethrower? The way they're holding it. But it looks like it's kind of like washing away the debris, the trouble. And I think that, a lot of times when we're feeling really overwhelmed with our tasks, our tedium, our day-to-day stuff, you know, I think, well, anyways, for me, there are two things. Stepping away from the situation for a moment, getting some distance, letting yourself kind of cool down, you know, get to a more grounded, rational, logical, like, you know, not aggravated or upset kind of place, bringing it down a notch, right? That's a big thing, taking a breath. And then, you know, deciding to make a plan. Make a plan. How are you going to tackle these things? What is realistic? Time management wise. How long is each thing going to take you? How many things can you actually do in one day without, you know, your head twisting off, right? So, I think just trying to get a little bit done every day as much as you can, being, well, yeah, like I said, being practical. The time management's a big thing. For me, I try to allot myself as much time as I can with each thing I'm doing. And also, there has to be the buffer of getting sidetracked. You know, I as a lot of you know, I'm a stay-at-home parent. And I have a toddler. She's very active. She doesn't do like daycare or anything like that. So she's with me from the time I wake up until she goes to bed. And whenever I plan something, you know, I have my chores for the day. There's a lot of buffer time because the transitional and trying to wrangle her and my animals and, you know, going from inside to outside and into the car and, you know, out in the world, errands. I mean, it takes a lot of time. So even if you don't have a young child, try to, if you have had a young child, you understand all of this. But even if you haven't, or they're grown, I think when you are in these very stressful times where you're starting to get really overwhelmed, you need to plan like you have a kid that is going to be, you know, making, so something that's usually like, okay, folding clothes, right? Maybe you have one basket, or you're like me, you have two full baskets to fold, and that should take, you know, maybe 30 minutes, right? Well, you have to give yourself at least an hour, right? Because there's gonna be getting up, oh, I want a snack, I want, you know, fix this, where's my bin of this thing, oh, it's put away, I gotta get it out, you know, just, it's nonstop. So, because you just need some time to get through these things while you're feeling this anxiety, go slowly, you know, allot yourself to time. Not everything has to get done right now. And, you know, I'm talking to Aries, so I know you all want to just brute force a lot of things. Get through them quickly, quickly, quickly. You are busy people. So, I think that is possible sometimes, but I think right now with the way that you're feeling and, you know, not focusing so much on these feelings of wanting to argue or be upset or look at what hasn't been done, who's not doing what. I mean, all that stuff needs to be talked about at some point, but I think the way that we start to feel more in control of what's going on is by, you know, working on what we can control. And that's our own involvement, our own feelings, how we react to things, and just setting reasonable goals. Okay, sometimes you can get a million things done flawlessly. Everything is on point, you're multitasking, you know, you're doing it all. You're a super person. Those days are wonderful, but they're not going to be every day. There might even just be periods of weeks and months and gosh, even years sometimes, where you just need to go slower. You need to go at a pace that is manageable for you, having goals throughout your day that are manageable, things that you can meet, because when you meet those goals, it helps you feel more confident. If you're constantly not getting things done and everything's stacking up, it's just like it's so much more likely that we're just gonna say, ugh, I give up, right? It's just too much. I'm never gonna get on top of this. It's not gonna happen. So setting those manageable goals, okay, that's, I feel that it's helpful for me anyways. Maybe I'm like a kid that needs like little gold. I got to get myself little gold stars, but mine is treats. I need little treats for everything I do. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so this one I thought was interesting. It looks like a kind of a little devil here, laying back, kind of just laying on their back, leisurely, hanging out. What comes to mind for me immediately is giving yourself a little bit of a break, okay? Just maybe letting some of that stuff stack up for a day, 2 days, whatever. Do something that you love, do something pleasurable, do something, that maybe you feel a little bit guilty about. Go get ice cream without the kids. Go, disappear for a day. Go watch a movie, get your nails done, go play golf, whatever it is, whatever you do. But do it for you. Give yourself a medium-sized treat. Okay, don't like get on a plane and, fly to Aruba without telling your family. But, do something for you and do something that will kind of break up this thing that's happening. Maybe take that friend of yours that has been so supportive. I think that it's definitely a good time if you're in the spring or if you are in the fall in the southern hemisphere. It is before the weather extremes really set in. Take advantage. Go do something. Okay, let's see. And this one I see, and I have to look it up, but the Big Dipper. Now, I don't know what these ones are actually called. The Big Dipper, Little Dipper. I don't know what the constellations really are. But whenever I saw these, I still see them, obviously, here and there. Although I'm not out at night too often unless I'm taking out the trash. Once the kid's in bed, I don't really go outside too much. But thinking about this, it is a sense of awe. But like I think of actually just an actual dipper. If you don't know what those are, it's kind of like a ladle. It was something that was used to pull water out of a water bucket when people used to drink from wells and springs and this kind of thing. You'd have this kind of ladle type wood dipping thing. And so I think of a drink of fresh water, just really quenching this thirst that is obviously it seems like this is more of the underlying thing than just being upset about all of the tedium that you have going, all of the household chores and responsibilities, it seems that there is kind of an underlying desire. And maybe this is something that you have to kind of investigate. What is it that is feeling, you know, that is arising in you that wants to be satiated? What is it that you have been ignoring? What have you been suppressing? What have you, you know, what thing do you have? And with that little devil reclining, you know, I feel like when I see kind of the devil figures in this kind of context, it's not so much about just overindulging, you know, letting yourself become, you know, totally overtaken by this urge or desire. But what that devil orientation kind of allots you is the ability to stop trying to not look at what is this thing that is coming, what is the sliver that is beneath the skin that is becoming uncomfortable. What is it that you want, really? Not what you should want, not what you need, but what do you want? Even if it's totally unreasonable, unmanageable, just ignoring it is not going to make it go away. So when there's this kind of devil energy, it gives you kind of that permission to at least face it. Admit it to yourself. I'm not saying, you know, jump right in, but there needs to be some exploration so that you can figure out, how am I going to confront this? How am I going to, you know, destigmatize this to myself? How am I going to process this? How am I going to, you know, explore this possibly? And maybe integrate it. I don't know, you know, maybe temper it. Do something that is not so completely overtaking you, or, you know, putting your toe in, not jumping all the way in. But, you know, ultimately these things, they have, if you decide to ignore it, suppress it, or whatever, they will manifest in your life some way, somehow. It might feel completely unrelated, but it will come up. And especially when it's something that you feel, you know, on the edges of your days and psyche, and, you know, you might think about kind of here and there. But then you feel it sneaking over into making you unsettled, a little bit more agitated, unfulfilled, you know, these kinds of things. And then, you know, and I'm superstitious, you know, I am, but it will present itself usually in a scenario, some kind of ordeal. Maybe another person, you know, will come into your life and present some of the attributes of this thing that you, you know, can't face or whatever. And it's, the universe will, you know, it will make you, it will make you face it one way or another. And when you have not resolved some of the things that have to do with it, then that's when you know, sometimes it really just devastates your life. It takes over everything. It becomes an obsession, a fixation, addiction, you know, risky behavior, whatever, you know. So anyways, let's see what this has to say. We have a little heart. Oh, but it kind of looks like it's in a sad face. It's like a little heart, and then this other little eye, and then a little kind of little sad face there. I just feel there's a real sense of restlessness. And I just think that, you know, being honest with yourself, implementing some things in your life, like we talked about with planning your days, your routine a little better, being more reasonable about how many things you can actually get done, you know, standing up to yourself if you just really aren't going to be able to pack it all into one day, and not feeling guilty about that. I think that helps with the, you know, really feeling more confident about your life. But then going and working on these other things, you know, whatever this other underlying thing is, I think that's going to be important, but I think that's, you know, a long-term thing that's happening. I don't see that this is going to be something that you necessarily get into right now, but I think that you are aware of it. Okay, so it's beginning. This is beginning to become a movement towards processing. And I also see this fish jumping on here, and I really think that, you know, taking some time for that's going to be really, I think you need to get your head clear. Okay, and here's a big thing too that I have a big problem with this. Maybe this is like my Virgo, I'm a Virgo, Aquarius, Capricorn, right? My big three. So I have a real problem of taking on responsibilities that are not my responsibility, and nobody asked me to do it. It's not my job, but I make it mine, and then I get upset because I have too many things to do, or it's, you know, I'm like, why am I doing this for somebody else? Like this is, you know, but nobody asked me to do it. I started doing it, and then it's ridiculous. It's like I'm setting my own trap for me to get upset, and it's illogical, and it's not fair for me or anybody else, because I'm the one making my own decisions. I'm hurting my own feelings. I'm wasting my own time. And the other thing is, often it's things that really don't matter. It's just little stuff. So I think that part of this work that you will be doing is looking at where are you kind of taking on responsibilities that are not your responsibility. It's just not. And maybe like me, nobody asked you to do it. So if they didn't, then don't do it. You know, figure those things out, and, you know, or maybe do them less. If they really need to get done, you know, the other people will do it, unless you have a young child, of course. But if it's not going to alter, you know, your well-being, or the, you know, anybody else's, like, what's the word? Like your, I don't know. But if it's not going to alter your home or the quality of life, yours or the other you know, it's not, I'm not talking about leaving, like, you know, 2 weeks of dishes in the sink or whatever. Although, you know, sometimes you really do feel like doing that. But, you know, if it's not your thing to do, then just maybe let it go. And that's hard, especially as like I I imagine as you're getting older, your kids are getting older, and they need to learn how to do things, but you've been doing stuff for them forever, and you don't want to leave all those clothes in their room, but they need to be doing their laundry and stuff. And I mean, it's just it's going to be hard. I can already tell it's going to be hard for me to relinquish. And my kid's still a toddler, but you know, in the years that come, I can see that's going to be a struggle for me already. But anyways, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, and we are growing this channel one person at a time. Collectively, we're really doing well. And if you haven't subscribed, think about doing that too. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos come out. Every sign is being read once a week. And so in between now and about 7 days, you can watch your other placements. And what else? If you want to leave a comment, I love hearing from each and every one of you. You all are so wonderful. And I wanted to mention there is a new member thing that you can sign up for, and it is a support tier. So it supports the channel. And again, very appreciated. So I thank you, Aries. We will talk again very soon.